What are you doing here? I paid for this seat.
She didn't even hesitate. Right there in front of everyone, the white air hostess raised her hand and slapped the black passenger across the face. Sharp, loud, and ugly. It echoed through the first-class cabin like someone had dropped a metal tray. Passengers froze, phone cameras went up, and the air hostess had no idea she had just destroyed her entire life in 5 reckless seconds. Before we continue, welcome to Untold Voices. Feel free to like, share, and drop your location. We love seeing where our stories travel. Maya Thompson wasn't the kind of person who looked for trouble. She was calm, quiet, and always carried herself with respect. She was in her early 20s, soft-spoken, well-dressed, and polite to everyone she met. Uh, Most people who saw her never guessed who she really was. They never guessed the power she carried. They never guessed who her family was. And Maya didn't care. She wasn't the type to brag. She bought her first-class ticket like everyone else, waited in line like everyone else, and sat down with her headphones in like any normal traveler. If anything, she liked blending in. It made life easier. It made people show their real selves. And on Flight 782, someone showed their true self immediately. Megan Hayes walked down the aisle like she was the queen of the plane. She wasn't known for kindness. She wasn't known for patience. She had worked as a flight attendant for years and somehow believed seniority meant superiority. To her, some passengers fit in first class and some didn't. She always made assumptions, always judged by looks, always believed she could get away with anything because no one ever challenged her. Megan loved control. She loved the way people scrambled when she snapped her fingers. She loved the way passengers apologized to her even when she was the one who was rude. She believed she was untouchable. That belief was about to collapse. Boarding was still going on, and first class was quiet. Maya sat in seat 1A, scrolling through her phone, not bothering anyone. Megan saw her from across the aisle. Her smile disappeared. Her walk slowed. She didn't see a first-class passenger. She didn't see someone with a valid boarding pass. She only saw a young black woman sitting in a seat she assumed she didn't belong in. Megan stopped in front of Maya. "This seat is for first-class passengers only," she said, her voice sharp. Maya looked up, confused but polite. "This is my seat." Megan didn't check the ticket. She didn't scan anything. She didn't even pretend to follow protocol. Instead, she leaned closer and said louder, "I'm not going to repeat myself. Move to your section." A few passengers shifted. A man frowned. Someone in row 2 muttered, "What's her problem?" Maya held up her boarding pass. "Ma'am, I paid for this." And before she could finish, Megan snapped. She slapped Maya, hard. The whole plane gasped. A woman shouted, "Hey, are you crazy?" Another passenger stood up. Phones were recording from every angle. Maya didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just stared at Megan with a steady, cold expression that made the cabin go silent. Then she said quietly, "Call your supervisor, now." Megan rolled her eyes. "You're not in a position to demand anything." But help was already on the way. A crew member had seen everything and rushed to get the pilot. Airport security stepped onto the plane moments later. Passengers whispered, "She hit her. That's assault. She's done." But Megan still didn't understand how deep a hole she had dug for herself. Not yet. When airport security asked for statements, Maya spoke clearly and calmly. "She assaulted me without reason. I showed my boarding pass. She refused to look at it." Megan tried to argue. She was sitting in first class and she was sitting in her assigned seat, a passenger said from row 1B. Another added, "I recorded everything." Megan's face paled, but she still tried to smile. It was just a misunderstanding. Maya looked at her, unbothered, and spoke in a tone so calm it felt like a trap closing. "My family owns this airline." Silence. Total silence. The pilot froze. The supervisor's eyes widened. Security officers exchanged looks. Passengers gasped softly. Megan's entire body went still. Her face turned white. Her hands began to shake. She knew exactly what that meant. No more excuses. No more pretending. No more authority. The power had shifted instantly, because she hadn't slapped just another passenger. She had slapped the daughter of the people who signed her paycheck. "Miss Hayes," the supervisor said, voice tight, "please step off the aircraft." Security escorted Megan down the aisle. Phones recorded every step. Passengers whispered, "She deserves it. Can you believe she slapped her? She ruined her life." At the gate, things got worse. Airport police were waiting. As soon as she stepped onto the jet bridge, an officer said, "You're being detained for assault." Megan's mouth dropped. What? No, no, I didn't mean she looked like she. This is a misunderstanding. Cameras flashed, crowds gathered, her coworkers stared at her in disbelief. The officers didn't care. They cuffed her right there on the airport floor. She tried to hide her face, but it didn't matter. Videos were already online. Millions would see them before the night ended. Her job? Gone. Her name? Stained. Her freedom? Slipping away. Everything she built shattered by her own prejudice. While Megan was being taken away, the plane stayed still. No one complained about the delay. No one rolled their eyes. Everyone knew they had just watched a life collapse in real time. Maya sat quietly, hands folded, not saying a word. The supervisor returned to her. "Miss Thompson, we're so sorry, truly." "It's fine," Maya said. "Let's just get everyone to their destination." Her voice was steady, simple, no anger, no drama, just calm. But the airline wasn't calm. By the time the flight landed, the video had gone viral. It hit every major platform, millions of views, thousands of comments. News outlets were calling before the plane even reached the gate. That was when the real storm began. The airline launched a full investigation. Executives released public statements. Other flight attendants started sharing their own stories about Megan's behavior. Within 24 hours, Megan was officially fired. Her name was all over the news. A lawsuit was filed against her personally, and the airport police formally charged her with assault. People online tracked down everything: her past complaints, her social media posts, her old disciplinary reports. She had always walked the line between rude and hostile. But this time, she crossed it. And she crossed it with the worst possible person. Her friends stopped answering her calls. Her co-workers unfollowed her. Her union refused to defend her. The world wasn't supporting her anymore. They were watching her fall. Maya never did interviews. She never made a statement. She didn't brag, didn't gloat, didn't even mention her family's ownership again. She simply continued her life. To her, what happened was simple. She showed her boarding pass. She was assaulted. The truth came out, that was all. But the passengers, the people who watched everything unfold, they carried the lesson with them. They had seen what prejudice looked like when it hid behind a uniform. They had seen how quickly someone could judge a stranger based only on skin color. They had watched someone throw away their whole future because they assumed a young black woman did not belong in first class. And they learned something. You never know who you're disrespecting. You never know who someone truly is. And arrogance always has a price. A single slap, a single moment of hate, and an entire career vanished. That day, people learned that judging by skin, class, or assumptions doesn't just hurt the person you target, it destroys the person who chose to hate. Because the world is changing, the cameras are always on, and consequences come fast. If you like stories like this, then subscribe to Untold Voices. Tap the like button, share the video, and tell us where you're watching from. We love seeing how far our audience reaches.